Okay, so let's come to a comfortable seat in our chairs. You might want to scoot forward a little bit. And right away, let's give shoulders a little roll out. As you're doing this, you're noticing how your upper body, neck, and shoulders are feeling. We tend to carry a lot of tension there. That being said, it is a little later in the day for most of us, so that could go either way, I guess. You can roll forward here. You might feel more tension. You might feel a little more open in your body because it's a little warmer. Sometimes first thing in the morning is a little extra. All right, let's roll back again. And then roll up, back, and down one final time so you feel that openness across your heart and chest. You're sitting nice and tall. You can take your hands to your thighs. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Again, smooth, full deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. One more time like that. Fill up on your inhale. This time, pause at the top. And exhale the air out through your mouth. Ha. And then go ahead and allow your lips to seal. You're going to start to inhale through your nose and then also exhale through your nose. So these first moments of our practice sitting quietly, you might find that you're a little extra, distracted. It's hard to quiet the mind. You'll be hearing the sounds that are happening in the room that you're in, or even outside of the room that you're in. And your brain will kind of go in that direction. And so you just keep inviting yourself to return to that sound of your breath. You're using your breath as a tool to help center and focus your attention. And you'll start to feel that happening, and then the chatter in your head might start to kick up. The thoughts will come in and out. And so you'll smile at those. And again, you'll just remind yourself, invite yourself to come back to that sound of your breath. Maybe, just maybe, you'll start to string together more moments of stillness and quiet. So just soaking up this stillness, whatever that might look like for you. With your eyes closed, still following that sound of your breath, just put yourself kind of inside of your body. Notice if you've started to slouch at all. Really root down into your sit bones, into your feet. With each inhale, you can help find space in your spine through the sides of your waist. So it's like you're growing yourself a little bit taller. And you hold on to that as you exhale down into your sit bones, down into your feet. Good. From here, you can gently blink your eyes open. And then let's just start to move into some simple cat-cow. So warming up the spine a little more. Hands on your thighs. And maybe just scoot forward in your chair again. If you started to slide back, just peek down. Make sure that your ankles are underneath your knees, maybe slightly ahead. And as we inhale, we're going to rock forward. So we're arching in the lumbar. We're finding that mobility in the lower back. As you exhale, we go in the opposite direction. Belly button moves towards the back of the spine, chin towards chest. We're rounding in the thoracic. Inhaling, arching. Good, and exhaling, rounding in. We're going to continue like this. You might go ahead and close your eyes again here. Sometimes that's just really nice. It might help you to visualize that extension and flexion that are happening in the spine as we come into each of these postures, this cat and then this cow. And you're moving with your breath here. And every time we practice, the pace we take is a little bit different. We need different things. A part of what our yoga practice teaches us is to honor that, to pay attention to what's going on physically, mentally, emotionally. We make little adjustments, even though we're doing the same poses over and over again. This practice is not static. It's always changing a little bit. Let's continue here for several more rounds. If you'd like to add your arms, start to warm up the shoulder girdle, you're welcome to do so. So as you're inhaling, you're reaching one arm forward. And then exhale, you release it down. Next inhale, reach that other arm forward. Exhale, release. Continuing like that. Periodically just checking in with that sound of your breath, bringing your attention back there. So the breath really does thread the poses together. This is a really important piece of our yoga practice. If you'd like to move towards doing both arms at the same time, you're welcome to try that out. Okay, let's do a few more rounds here. And maybe you're just kind of noticing how your spine is feeling, hopefully quite a bit different. And even just doing this simple vinyasa here, this cat-cow, you might be starting to feel a little heat inside your body. I must admit, this is helping me to wake up a little bit, so that's a good thing. All right, if you're doing opposite arms, go ahead and make sure that you're nice and even. And let's come back to our mountain pose, to our nice tall seat. Good, you can readjust a little bit if you need to. So find those sit bones, really anchor them down into your chair. And then let's get into some neck stretching here. So we're gonna drop our chin towards our chest. I know I need this sitting on airplanes for 9 hours at a time. Wreaks havoc on the shoulders and neck. Now you'll notice if your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, it probably means that the back of the neck is a little extra tight. Maybe you've dropped your chin too far. So do a little less. We'll be visiting this placement of the head a few more times. So just know that there's plenty of time to kind of open things up. So we never want to force anything. And then let's keep the chin tucked as we exhale. Let's do that little quarter turn to the right. And I could tell that my right shoulder wanted to creep up and help out. So check in with yours, soften down if you need to, and you're breathing here. You're feeling some stretch on the left side of your neck, those scalene muscles. You can send your exhale to the places where you're feeling the stretching. Take a nice deep inhale here. It's almost like you're creating space in that left side of your neck. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin again, come back to center. Let's hang out here again a few more breaths. Maybe it's already starting to feel different in the back of your neck. Maybe you're finding a little more length, a little more release. And also maybe you aren't. So sometimes that's the case too, and that's all right. All right, let's take a nice deep inhale here. Keep the chin tucked. And then as you exhale, make that little quarter turn to the left. And you notice how this side feels as you start getting into that right side of the neck, those scalene muscles. And that being said, you still might be feeling things on the left side too. I certainly am. Visualize your breath creating space in your neck, opening things up. Let's take a deep inhale here. Keep the chin tucked as you exhale. Come back to center. Release both shoulders down. And then let's release both hands down potentially. You might try that out. See how it feels. It's going to create a little extra resistance. So you might get a little more stretch. If it feels like too much, you put your hands back down on your thighs. And then the same thing here. Let's take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, do that little quarter turn to the right. Ooh. Shoulder blades are releasing down your back. Breath is smooth and steady. Good, deep inhale here. Exhale, chin is tucked. You come back to that center position. How is the back of your neck feeling? Just noticing, just observing. This is another great skill that our yoga practice teaches us. Deep inhale here. And then we exhale, do that little quarter turn to the left. Your breath, especially the exhale, going to the places where you're feeling a lot of intensity on that right side of your neck. Your shoulder blades are releasing down your back, maybe gently squeezing in towards each other. And again, you're rooting down into your sit bones. So that is your base. Deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come back to center. Let's inhale, lift our chin. And then exhale, just nod that head off to the right. So no tucking the chin this time. And maybe it might be subtle, but you might be feeling the stretch in some different places on that left side. And again, if you do have your hands releasing down and it feels like too much, maybe you go ahead and place your hands back on your thigh, particularly that left one, since we're stretching into that left side. Conversely, if you're feeling like you could use a little more, maybe you take your right hand to the top of your head. And then you're just using the strength of your arm to apply a little pressure. And you can kind of gauge that. Inhaling through your nose here and exhaling through your nose. And then one more time, let's just kind of tuck our chin here. You can use your hand to help you find that. Observing where the stretch shifts in that left shoulder area, that left neck area. All right, so just start to lift your chin here. Take your right hand to your right cheek. Use the strength of your arm to upright your head. You can release that hand down. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Notice if that left shoulder is creeping up to help out, soften it down. And again, if on this side, which may be very different than the other side, it feels too intense to have your fingertips reaching to the floor, particularly that right one, or those right fingertips rather, you just take your hands back to your thighs. Otherwise, if you'd like to play with a little more, you can take your left hand to the top of your head, applying a little gentle pressure. You can gauge that. You're in control of that. And then perhaps you tuck your chin a little bit here. You'd go ahead and lift your chin, and then you can use your left hand, the strength of that arm to help you upright your head. Beautiful. Release your left fingertips down, and then let's just do some shoulder shrugs here. So scrunching your shoulders up towards your ears and sigh the breath out, relax the shoulders down. A few more times like this. One more for good measure. Very nice. And then let's bring our hands back to our thighs and just start to rock around in that pelvic girdle. You can do big circles, little circles, a little of both. And you're noticing how this feels. And depending upon what's going on with your body today, you're going to feel it in different places. And certainly kind of feel this in the lower back area, the hips, even the glutes, and perhaps even the neck and shoulders. And then you also just might notice that this movement feels really nice. It's sort of like fluid. It's kind of unusual movement in yoga. And you can slowly start to switch directions here. Nice work, everyone. Start to make these circles a little smaller until you're coming back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Again, just make any little adjustments that you need to here. So finding that nice seat, you're rooting into your sit bones, your knees are over your ankles, or maybe ankles slightly ahead of your knees. Let's release our arms down. So we've done a lot to warm up the forward, or the front and back of the spine. So let's start to find a little side stretching here. So as you inhale, let's take that left arm up and over. Getting into the lateral motion. As you exhale, release. And then we'll do some twists, kind of complete the picture. As you inhale, right arm up and over. Beautiful. And as you exhale, release. And then I invite you here to start to move with your breath at a pace that feels just right for you today. So you might be a little different than me. If you feel safe and stable, you might close your eyes here. And it's kind of always just a nice way of sort of tuning everything out so you can really get inside your body. Beautiful. Let's do a few more of these to each side just because it feels good. There's just something very calming and rhythmic about flowing with the breath like this. So the next time you're leaning off to that right side, let's go ahead and hang out here. Again, release those shoulder blades down your back. Notice if that left sit bone is getting light here. Anchor down a little more. So make it heavier. That might mean that you come out of the side stretch a little bit. That's okay. Maybe you start to bring your gaze up underneath that top arm. Then maybe if you want a little core work here, so getting into those obliques, maybe you reach your right arm up. It's like you're holding a beach ball between your hands. And then think outer hip squeezing and lower belly pulling in and up as you inhale, upright yourself. Really nice. As you exhale, you side bend to the left. Pressing down into that right sit bone. As you anchor there, you're extending through your right fingertips. And then there's a little subtle twist here. So those left ribs are wrapping up. You might be gazing up underneath that top arm. Breath is smooth and steady. Again, periodically just returning to your breath. If you wanted to sweep, that left arm up, you can send me a subliminal thank you tomorrow when you're feeling the muscles in your side waist. Good. Use a lot of strength to inhale, come up to center. Really nice. As you exhale, let's take our arms out wide. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale, we return to center. Couple more times like this. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Good. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Good, inhale, center. And I know the arms are feeling it. This is our last one. Exhale, twist to the right. Stretch out through your fingertips. And then go ahead and release your hands down. So that left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh or the inside of your left thigh. They're both good places to be. But you want to find a little of your cobra pose in your upper body. So shoulder heads pressed back. Sternum lifts towards the ceiling. And then you're wrapping these left ribs to the right. Really see what's in front of you. So you're keeping your gaze soft and gentle. So again, as we get into this twisting in the spine, really good for the spine. We're moving it in all directions today. So take a nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, unwind, come to center. Inhale, reach the arms out wide. Exhale, twist to the left, really reach out, and then go ahead and release hands down. So again, this right hand in particular can be on either leg. It's going to depend on how your spine is feeling. Root down into your sit bones as you wrap those right ribs to the left, gently pressing your shoulder heads back. Still sitting really tall, even though we're wringing out the spine here. Gaze is soft and gentle. You just kind of looking at what's in front of you, noticing. Good deep inhale. Let's exhale, unwind, come to center. Let's move into some half sun salutes. This is a great place to set up blocks if you have them. Of course, they aren't necessary. They're just a great way of bringing the floor a little bit closer. You can refresh your posture, your Tadasana here. Release your arms by your side so you're sitting nice and tall. You're in this beautiful mountain pose. Speaking of mountains, I went to Montserrat, which was beautiful, incredible, very majestic. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. I highly recommend it. Or just look at pictures of it on the internet. That will do too. As you exhale, you're going to hinge forward, fold in, chin towards chest. Release the back of your head, back of your neck down. Inhale. This is where you might press into those blocks. And they can be any height. Hands could press to shins or thighs as well. Exhale, fold back in. And then inhale, root into your sit bones, into your feet. Couple of options. You can stretch your arms out and up. So using a little core, you could also just roll up using your hands to help press you there. Palms press overhead, maybe you gaze up. So you exhale, you can take the arms out wide or palms together to heart center. So as you know, there's lots of ways that we can kind of vary these. In fact, let's just play with one right now. So let's release arms down. This time, let's reach forward and up. Good. And then exhale, maybe bring hands to heart center, hinge forward, and then release down. Inhale, lengthen forward. Good. Exhale, fold back in. And then maybe this time again, you reach forward and up if that feels good, or you use your hands to help press you up. Beautiful. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. So all this to say that there are a lot of ways to do these. One is not better than the other. It's kind of fun to mix and match sometimes. Let's play with one more variation here. Inhale, reaching up. As we exhale, we're going to do a little side bend to the right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale to center. And then as you exhale, you're folding into your Uttanasana. So deep forward fold. Inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana. This is your half forward fold. It's like a cobra pose. It's the back bend. As you exhale, come into the forward fold. Inhaling, rising up. There's a little back bend here, especially at the top as you bring your palms together to touch gaze up. And then as we exhale, we come back to neutral. So I invite you to do 3 more of these. You could do the side bends if you want. So play around, let them feel really good. You're not feeling these sun salutes today. Maybe you return to doing your cat-cow, or if you like that side to side lateral stretching, you could do that. You could also just sit quietly. Sometimes it can be fun to play with closing the eyes here. You only do that if you feel pretty safe and stable in your seat. The important thing is that you're finding space in your body. You're finding this sense of gracefulness, this sense of rhythm and flow. You're soaking up that sound of your breath. It is your soundtrack here. And when you're done with your 3rd round, you're just pausing in your mountain pose Tadasana, palms together at your heart, eyes closed. Taking stock of how you're feeling. Enjoying those sensations. Good, and then let's blink our eyes open here. Release your hands down. So let's get into a little hip stretching. We're going to combine that with some forward folds as well to go a little deeper into the hips. So we're going to start on our right side. Couple of options here. You can take your right ankle above your left knee if that is available to you. Some of us, that's not going to work. It can feel like too much. The other option is to just find external rotation at that right hip. So opening up the leg any amount, and you're going to just pay attention to your body and to what you need. I've mentioned it before, coming into this variation, this warrior 2 leg, you actually get a nice stretch on the inseam of the leg as well, in addition to the glute and the outer hip. So if that's something that interests you, this might be the variation that you want to take today. Sometimes we get sort of locked into doing the same thing all the time. So it can be nice to mix it up and just try something different on for size. If you're in this variation that I'm doing right now and you feel like you need a little more, you could always use the strength of your arm to the inside of that thigh. You're pressing backwards, and that just might help you to feel a little more stretch and opening. Conversely, if you have your ankle crossed above that left knee, you might be taking your hand and pressing down. And you might not be doing either of those variations. The hips get really tight for most of us. So just being here like this might be plenty of stretch for your body. And keep that breath smooth and steady. All right, let's inhale, take the arms out and up. Or I guess just out, no up. As you exhale, twist to the left. And then go ahead and release your hands down. So this might be a slightly deeper twist. And if you're in those warrior two legs and it's a little challenging to bring your right hand to the outside of that left thigh, you could also just keep that hand on your right thigh. That works. Or you could even kind of grab your lower waist. Moving towards bringing your gaze in the direction of your left shoulder. It might not get all the way there. And then because we can, let's stay in the twist, but inhale, take that left arm up and over. So this is kind of like a reverse warrior pose variation in the upper body with a twist. You might be gazing up underneath that top arm, wrapping those right ribs up towards the ceiling. You take a deep inhale here, really reach through those left fingertips. And then as you exhale, well, let's actually take an exhale. And then inhale, upright yourself. And then give yourself a hug. So that right arm is underneath, left arm on top. So elbows are stacking. And then maybe you start to lift the elbows even as your shoulder blades are releasing down towards your sit bones. This is a great place to stay, getting into the shoulders here. If you like the variation of bringing the backs of your hands together and that is available to you, you can do that. You might be able to reach around and press palms. A lot of that is dictated by shoulder flexibility, even by how bulky your shoulders are. So a lot of times for guys, they're just stronger in that shoulder girdle area. So this can be a lot more challenging. If you can't get there, it doesn't mean that there is anything wrong with you. We're all just built different. We've all got different things going on in our bodies. All right, so from here, let's inhale, take the arms out, take an exhale here, and then inhale, reach the arms up. And then we're gonna take a forward fold here. So this is where you might use your blocks again. You might just have your hands resting on your thighs, because as we start to hinge forward, it's going to increase the sensation that we're getting in our hips. And then feel free to let the chin start to drop towards the chest. So the back of the neck is lengthening. And we've got a few more good breaths here. All right. So as you inhale, go ahead and start to lengthen forward. Exhale, you can take your hands to your legs. And then inhale, press on up. Nice work. So we're going to go ahead and uncross that left ankle, or right ankle rather, from the left thigh. Walk the right leg in if you had those warrior two legs. And then we come to our second side, which might look different than the first. So again, options are to come into this external rotation at the hip socket. You do just want to make sure that knee is landing over your ankle, or perhaps you're crossing that left ankle above your right knee. There is any sensation in the knee, flexing this right or left foot is going to help with that. So it just engages the muscles around the knee. It helps to protect that joint. Let me just take a few breaths here. You are observing, you're getting curious about how this side feels different in your body. You're perhaps even curious about how it feels different today than it did the last time you were doing this stretch. Not necessarily trying to change anything or expecting anything, but just becoming aware. And then you check in with your breath again. You might be using your left hand to either press that leg back, creating a little more sensation, or you might be pressing down. You might be doing neither of those, especially if the hips are tight. Release the hands down. Inhale, take the arms out wide. And then as you exhale, twist to the left. Release your hands down. Shoulder heads pressed back. Just wringing out the spine here. See what's in front of you. Breath is smooth and steady. And you know what? I think I twisted the wrong way. So you got a little extra on this side. Let's come back to center. I'm blaming it on jet lag. I'm using that card. Let's exhale, twist to the right. Please forgive me. Hopefully your week will not have been ruined by this yoga mishap. We got a few more breaths here. All right, and then we're gonna stay in this twist, but we're gonna find that lateral stretch too. So kind of that like twisted reverse warrior. So inhale, take that right arm up and over. You might be gazing out underneath that top arm. You're extending through those right fingertips, even as you root into your right sit bone. Good. On your next inhale, start to upright yourself. Give yourself a hug. So right elbow on top of left. Elbows lift, shoulder blades release down. So little shoulder stretch before we come into our forward fold. Maybe you bring the backs of your hands together if you like that variation. Maybe you bring the palms to touch. They're all good. They're all essentially doing the same thing. Couple more breaths here. And then inhale, take the arms out wide. Full exhale here. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, we start to fold in. So again, hands might rest on legs. You might bring your fingertips to blocks and play with the height. So this is going to intensify that stretch that's happening in the outer left hip. Do less if you need to, but also be willing to challenge yourself a little bit, kind of play your edge. Send your exhale to that outer left hip. Use your breath to help you find a little space, a little ease in the pose. And use your breath to help you just be in the pose, even if it is a little uncomfortable. Good. As you inhale, starts to lengthen through the sides of your waist. So kind of doing that half forward fold. And then you can use your hands on your inhale to help you press up. Very nice. You can go ahead and uncross that left ankle. Draw that left leg back in. Finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then just checking in and noticing how you're feeling. Good. And then allow your eyelids to close here. We're going to move into a little breath work. We're going to do our box breath today. So let's take a full deep inhale through your nose. Full complete exhale through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just go ahead and continue a few more rounds on your own. You can stretch that out. You can shorten it if that feels better. Good. And when you've completed 3 or 4 rounds and you feel complete, you're going to go ahead and make your way into a final resting pose. So some form of Shavasana. You might just be staying exactly where you're at, but the feeling tone is going to be a little different. You're going to let your breath just kind of find its own natural rhythm. So you're letting go of that ujjayi, or maybe stretching out the inhale, lengthening out the exhale. You're feeling really relaxed. You're giving your brain permission not to think about the things that you need to get done this afternoon. Instead, you're soaking up these final moments of your yoga practice. You're allowing your body and brain to assimilate the work that we've done together this past hour. And it's putting this bookend, the conclusion of our time together, Shavasana. Nasato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityo ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And you can start to bring a little gentle movement back to your body. So whatever that looks like, wiggle fingers and toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out anything that feels good in your body here and helps you to come back to your physical shape. And then we'll eventually land with our hands in a pile on top of our heart. So final check-in, you're noticing how you feel differently than when we started. Send yourself, your body, love and gratitude. Send each other love and gratitude. And just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the the day, the week ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. So good to see all of you. Thank you.